Hello, laddies. Guess what I'm celebrating today? You guessed it. I am celebrating St. Patrick's Day because it's almost upon us, and Savannah has the second largest celebration of St. Patrick's Day in the United States, second only behind New York. So it's a real big deal to come to Savannah for St. Patrick's Day. You will always find cabbage. You'll always find corned beef. You'll always find green grits. We'll dye our grits green. Do they still dye the river green, Eddie?
They don't do the river. They do all the fountains.
The fountains, okay. So the dish that I am fixing to prepare for y'all is called Colcannon. Colcannon. And it dates back to the 18th century in Ireland. And quite often, one of my children's favorite sides for a meal that I'm preparing was fried cabbage and mashed potatoes. They go together so good. And this recipe originally started out being celebrated at Halloween. And supposedly it gave one the ability to tell your fortune. But eventually it just swung over to the celebration of St. Patrick's Day. And I've cooked a lot of cabbage. I've cooked a lot of mashed potatoes. So I think y'all will find this interesting to mix them together, because that's what we would do anyway. When we were eating, we'd grab a spoon of mashed potatoes and then our cabbage. And it's so good together. So I've got my Irish potatoes, and they were cut up into like the size of potato salad. But we're gonna mash these. So the Irish potatoes, the Idahos, I think this called for Idahos. No, russet. Anyway, they don't hold up like a gold table potato or red potato. So these are gonna mash very, very nicely. And I've got me a little olive oil, and I've got me some shredded cabbage, and I've got some fresh thyme. Now, if you research this recipe, you will find that people would use different ingredients. Like, I would want onions in this, or something to kick up that flavor. In fact, while that's doing, I'm gonna come over here. Where did I put it, Eddie? There it is. I'm gonna chop this up real quick like, and this'll help increase the flavor. Where are my cutting boards? I don't know. Here, I'll slide down and use this one. I'm not too organized this morning, am I? That's all right, I'll get the job done. All right, so I'm gonna dice this up real good, and I'm gonna throw it in with my cabbage. I turned the cabbage down so it wouldn't get ahead of me. You know, oh, this is so aromatic. And you could also use spring onion, what we call spring onions, green onions. All right, so I'm gonna throw that in there, and that's gonna kick up that flavor. Smells so good. Okie dokie. Wasn't too well prepared, but that's all right. When I'm not filming, that's the way I cook in my kitchen. Because I'll think, oh no, this dish needs this, and this dish needs that. So this recipe calls for cooking in olive oil. And I think it could stand a little bit more onion, but we're going to let this cook. And, not very long, just until it's tender. I'm going to go ahead and add the thyme to it. And that's going to be another layer of flavor going into this dish. It's pretty cabbage. Now, when you buy your cabbage, there's usually a beautiful dark green leaf around it. And if you like to use those, you need to cut those up separately and into smaller pieces because they take so much longer to cook. Those are really tough leaves, but I love the color green that it gives my cabbage. All right, our cabbage has been cooking, oh gosh, about 5 minutes, I guess. So I'm gonna put the lid back on and just finish cooking it until it's tender. And then we're gonna marry our ingredients together. All right, so I'm mashing up our potatoes. And you can see I'm not using a hand mixer or anything. I'm just mashing them the old-timey way. I'm hoping my Aunt Peggy will eat this. I hope. I'm having such a hard time finding things she'll eat. Now, the recipe does not call for butter, except on top. But, Paula Deen ain't never cooked a mashed potato that didn't have butter. So, I'm going to put just a little bit. And, now, I think a lot of your recipes for Colcannon will call for cream. So we're going to heat our chicken broth because I pulled out some cream and I may add that. And I'm going to have to be careful because I'm trying to heat my potatoes back up. And when we put everything together, I will check it for seasoning. So, our cabbage is nice and tender. So we're just gonna heat this up. And I can't help it, but I'm gonna add a little cream. The tater devil made me do that. Okay, so all we're gonna do now is just stir these together. And maybe I'll tell y'all's fortune. Did you know that, Teresa? Before this Colcannon became a dish for known for St. Patrick's Day, it was big at Halloween.
Oh, wow.
And it gave you abilities to tell fortunes, tell people's fortunes. So I'll tell y'all a fortune.
We're getting rich?
No, Well, that would be nice, but no. You're going to turn into the happiest person you've ever been around. Poof. Poof, poof, poof. Okay. Now, the reason you want to heat up your broth is so that your dish remains hot. All right, I'm gonna that cabbage tastes so good in there. Uh-oh, we're getting low on salt here. A little pepper. And you want to add your chicken broth slowly. You don't want to dump it all in there because you just want this enough to make it creamy. So we'll do a little bit at the time. And it really depends on, you know, it's kind of like grits. Do you like spoon grits or fork grits? Fork grits is thick enough that you can eat it with a fork. A spoon grit, you need a spoon to eat it with. So potatoes are kind of the same way. You know, how thick do you like your potatoes? And I'm going to show you the way that they were served back in the early days of Ireland. Okay, I think that's good. But I could always add more as it sits and may drink up. Ooh, I kind of wish I had more cabbage. That cabbage is so good in there. So they would serve it just like that. And they center it out and put a knob of butter. I wish I could do that Irish dance for y'all, but I can't. But this is gonna make me want to dance. I might have put a little too much butter. Maybe. It's delicious, y'all. Such a comforting food. And you serve this at St. Patrick's Day along with corned beef. I got it. It's so good. So good. So, my dear laddies, I hope y'all have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Yum. Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.